This is quite strange because I've left my tripod in the shed. So I was going to make a tower at the end of the table to put the camera on. And to be honest, I can't be bothered and it wouldn't be very good. So I was worried about the camera falling off and angles and that sort of thing. So basically Mike's happened to film me again. So I hope that he's got me on. He tends to drift off if he gets distracted. So yeah, Mike, come back. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do with my beans. I've been talking about these beans ever since I started to grow them. Not really knowing what they were. I knew they were borlotti beans, not really knowing when to pick them, how to dry them. I had the disaster where I put them in the freezer after I'd shelled them, put them in the freezer to kill off any bugs, someone had recommended it, and then tried to dry them and they just went mouldy. Don't do that. So I've just given up now. I've just picked a load. I've got a load hanging in the greenhouse drying, and I keep going along and picking up what I need and bringing them home. So they don't look very attractive when they're sort of partially dried. They look a little bit manky. Mike might try and zoom in here. Look, look at that, see? But when you actually pop them, they're all right. I mean, you know, these brown bits, that's just because they're on the way to drying. Obviously, I've got some other beans in there. I think there were some of my runner beans, or I think runner beans. I think there's some of the runner beans were mixed up with them. I'm going to bung them in anyway. So that's it. I've got beans. I've got, look, that's all you do. I didn't even show you that, did I? You know how to pod a bean. You just go, pop the end, check the beans are okay, pop them in the bowl. Some of them, actually, as they get leathery, they're more difficult to pop than when they're fresh. But anyway, you carry on like that. I won't bore you with those. I'm going to move those out of the way and pretend they've been podded. You need a garlic, a couple of sage leaves. If you've got sage, if you've been growing sage, get your sage leaves out. These I have got a tiny bit has been eaten away, but it doesn't matter. They're absolutely clean. They are beautiful. So I'm going to use those. It galls me to say it, but I had to buy some tomatoes. Our tomato harvest, you will know if you've seen any of the videos, has been absolute pants. Anyway, so I had to buy some tomatoes, bit of olive oil, bit of water, something to crush your garlic with and chop your tomatoes, and an old crock. I said crock. Okay, right, all we do, beans in there. I tend to use this knife for everything. It's a bread knife, but you know, you've got a favourite knife? I use this for everything. So, rotten old tomatoes, chop them up. I did actually buy these reduced because they were just about to go. They're going in there. So yeah, they're quite soft. And really, because they're cooking, they won't be too bad. Tomatoes in there. I'm going to break up the sage leaf. Mike, would you care to come and join me? Break up the sage leaf, put that in there. There we go. The smell of that. I must admit, I don't use sage for a lot. I tend to use a lot of chives. That's a bit woody. A lot of marjoram, thyme. I tend not to use sage, but with this dish, it adds a really, really lovely, intense taste to it. Right, garlic. This is one of my garlic harvest. Take off the neck. Let's see what's inside. Everyone's got their own way of chopping a garlic clove. Okay? I tend to top, tail, peel it, get my fingernails absolutely full of garlic, which I then can't get rid of for quite some time, and then chop it. Okay? Now, some people squash it. Some people squash it before they've even peeled it. Some people use one of those. I get frustrated because you have to clean it out. Sometimes I like to use this. A mezzaluna, is it a mezzaluna? Anyway, it's a good little chopper. As you can see, I'm not going to do that today because all this needs is very roughly chopping. Really, if you wanted to, you could just put in the whole clove. And that's all I'm going to do to that. In fact, I'm going to put another one in. So, let's get a nice fat close. I do like garlic. If you don't like garlic, don't put it in. Got to say, it's 3:05 in the afternoon here, and I know it's November, but it's such a miserable day outside. And there's something about days like this where it's really miserable outside. I don't know, is it a nesting instinct? You sort of want to cook and bake and make things nice inside. Light a fire, maybe even some candles. Bit of a fire hazard on a day like this, but anyway, there we go. La-da-dum-da-dum. Chopping some garlic, roughly. A little bit of papery bits there. Pop the garlic in. You can see, really, I'm not bothered about measuring quantities or anything like that. Right, that's all you have to do. You do that. Oh, I've got one of these posh things of olive oil. I've never... Oh no, it's not too bad. I still haven't learned when doing things like this that I really should check before we put the camera on that things are working. A glug of olive oil. Glug, 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 glug. Now I notice some TV chefs, they say a glug, just a quick glug, and they pour about half a pint of olive oil in. Mine is just literally to make it glisten. Look, okay, not a lot in there, it's not all pooling about, but then what you have to do to get your liquid in, you basically cover it with water. Just make sure your beans are covered, and that's it. In fact, a little bit more. I'm going to put that on the oven now. Tight fitting lid. Put that on the, not the oven. You could do it in the oven if you wanted to, but I like to put it on the stove, bring it to the boil, turn it down, and then we'll have a look at it in about half an hour and see how it's coming on. Okay, thank you. Okay. Doo-dum. Doo-dum. Nay, they're okay. Beans have been there now for, let me just check the clock. Okay, been there for about 35 minutes now. They came to the boil. I turned them down a bit, and they're having what I'd call a healthy simmer. A healthy simmer there. Now, you can see I haven't done loads. Some people would do a whole load at once. I'm just doing enough to have as a little accompaniment for our, that's my daughter, for our Sunday tea. Okay, we're going to have these with lamb as like a little side dish. But yeah, you can see that they're coming on really well now. The beans have expanded, and having expanded, they've taken on, so she's annoying me now. I'm going to have to turn this camera around. It's the only way to get rid of her. Okay, yeah, she's gone. Okay, and with expanding like that, they've taken up all the delicious garlic and sage. Yeah, really tasty. So anyway, we'll come back to that when it's done. I would say probably about another 10 minutes on a healthy simmer. Okay. Okay, folky dokes, here we are. We've got our cooked beans, and I tell you what, they're pretty good. If you had some chives or some parsley or coriander, whatever, nice fresh green herbs over the top, that would make it look nice. Like I say, we're going to have it as a side dish with our lamb. And here's that, they're quite meaty in themselves. But yeah, you could just eat them like that, you know. And that's it. Dead easy to do. Easy is what I like. Simple beans for simple people. That's what I like to do. So yeah, give it a go. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you try it out, let me know what you think. Okay. Hope you've enjoyed the video. and see you soon. Hopefully back at the allotment next week. Okay, bye for now.